Coming up tonight, we welcome back musical group They Might Be Giants. Plus, check out Kevin's hot new burning package. It's on fire. And outrageous comic Margaret Cho is actually a really big geek. Live from the Tech TV studios, San Francisco, it's the Screensavers. Yeah!
Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
Is it Kiss that's going to be here?
No.
No.
They Might Be Giants.
They Might Be Giants. Is that like Kiss's pseudonym, like their stage name?
More of another seminal rock act.
Because I see the sets all set up
the course of American
for
music.
Kiss.
Not unlike Kiss.
Not unlike Kiss.
Well, hey,
don't tell John and John that.
No, I think that both bands really impacted the way contemporary pop, modern pop music is perceived. Extraordinary.
Welcome
I
to
have
the
They Might
show.
Be Giants on vinyl, so don't even get started.
I know, you beat me. You beat me. I just downloaded it with the iTunes.
You just were recording them live.
I did. I'm their sound engineer. Hi, I'm Leo Laporte. Thanks for joining us. We're the screwball tech heads that do this show every day, and we're so happy you're here. We're actually going to have a great time. It's kind of a low-tech beginning of the show because They Might Be Giants are going to perform. You know, we love these guys so much. They do have some cool tech that they bring on the road with them. We will show that, but the truth is, I want them to play music. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to play at least 2 songs for us. And I did put on my blog because earlier in their sound check, they did an incredible accordion version of Edgar Winter's Frankenstein. And I put that on my blog. So there's a little bonus track for you. But meanwhile, don't tell Hillary Rosen or Edgar Winter.
Out come the ASCAP BMI licensing.
Yeah, I know. That was a complete violation of all copyright.
Slide right by that.
Let's do news.
News!
On blue paper so it doesn't hurt your eyes. According to Internet Magazine reports, computers now can read users' lips. Remember Hal? That's what Hal did. They were in the Open the Pod Bay door. Actually, this is not a joke. It comes from a company that you may have heard of called Intel.
Intel.
They've developed, well, see, here's the problem with most speech recognition, just trying to hear your voice isn't enough. Sure. But if you can add lip movement, it makes it so much easier for the computer to understand. So they are actually going to start shipping some open source software called the AVSR, or Audio Visual Speech Recognition. It'll have a camera to do facial recognition stuff to track your lip movements, and then do that in conjunction with speech recognition software, and they say it gives you a much, much better result. Very cool.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, you can go to the Intel's website and actually download some examples.
And try it out.
Yeah.
I think this is, this may be the key that we've been looking for, because speech recognition has not worked.
Maybe the key Intel's been looking for to sell more, faster processors.
Intel spent a lot of time on this. In fact, they've been working in China because, of course, in China you can't just type on a keyboard. It's very difficult.
Well, it's a really big keyboard.
So this is something that would be very valuable in China. Yeah. Intel's been doing a lot of work on that. I think we might release. That's a holy grail, to be able to talk to your computer and have it type what you say.
Yeah.
Maybe we're a little bit close.
As long as it doesn't understand what we're saying. Earlier today, UK news outlet The Register reported that our favorite chief executive for the Recording Industry Association of America, Hillary Rosen, is helping draft copyright law for the, and I quote, new Iraq.
Whoa, 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 ho, wait a minute. Former president of the Recording Industry Association of America, she left to spend time with her kids.
Right.
Now she's going to draft the copyright laws for Iraq?
Assist. According to news originally came from Democracy Now! Radio from Gregory Palast, who the Register calls an investigative journalist. Our favorite quote, Palast on the radio show, who's really going to win this war? It looks like Madonna, where before they feared Saddam Hussein, now they have to fear Sony Records will chop off their hands if they bootleg a Madonna album. Scary. The Register notes that under current Iraqi copyright law, a copyright lapses 25 years after the death of the author, but no more than 50 years after the publication of the work.
We can't have that.
Well,
that's too much like everybody else. We've got to have the Mickey Mouse laws.
Exactly. The Register suggests that Rosen's rush for Iraq can be explained by Iraq's lack of a reciprocal copyright agreement with the United States, which means U.S. works are not protected in Iraq, which probably upsets the mouse, too.
Yeah.
Or the current Article 13 in Iraq, which stipulates that the author may not prevent a person making one copy of a published work for their own use.
Isn't that funny that probably one of the worst dictatorships of our time has normal copyright laws?
Yeah.
That we are the ones with the completely draconian copyright law, and here in Iraq, where, I mean, these guys were nuts, They have reasonable copyright laws.
Well,
Not
apparently
anymore.
stamping out other human rights.
Not anymore. And now in New Hampshire, this is actually
This
good
is
news for
great.
me because I like to steal my Wi-Fi wherever I can get it. According to Wired.com, New Hampshire, the legislature, the state legislature in New Hampshire has offered Bill 495,
Right.
which, if passed, would put the burden of securing a wireless network on the owner of the network, making it legal for you and me to drive by and borrow a cup of Wi-Fi.
At least if you think it's supposed to be open.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
In other words, if they don't protect themselves, to heck with them.
Yeah, caveat emptor, something like that. Some would say this would effectively legalize war driving, making it harder to prosecute baddies that exploit wireless networks.
I think this is great.
Yeah, I like to think of it as the live free or die state, reminding folks that they should mind their fences.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Joe!
Let's get our first call today.
Joe joins us on the phone from Worcester, Massachusetts.
Worcester.
I'm
Worcester.
sorry. I do that every time.
Worcester.
I
You
think
got to
it's
say Worcester. No hard R. Hello, Joe.
I'm
Hello.
sorry, Joe.
Is it Worcester?
It's Worcester.
It's Worcester. See what I tell you. What can we do for you, Joe?
Hi, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I just bought a brand new computer, an HP Pavilion, and it came with Windows XP Home Edition.
Yes.
And I was told by some friends that this has a built-in firewall, but nobody's ever told me how I can set it up.
It sure does, and it's an okay
Yeah,
firewall.
it's more like half of a firewall.
but it's better than no firewall
True.
at all. Now, how do we set it up? Is
Okay, go into network,
it control panel?
control panel, networking, network connections.
Network connections, and you right-click on your LAN connection, right? Or whatever connection you're using. If you have a modem, you'll right-click on that.
So go to properties,
Select properties.
slide down to advanced.
And then we go over to the advanced tab, and it says,
Protect my computer and network by limiting or preventing access to this computer from the internet.
that's a firewall. And I would suggest, Joe, that you click that and learn a little bit about what that
Yeah.
firewall's
We
doing.
say, Joe, you have a dial-up or a broadband connection?
I have a cable modem.
Okay,
Yeah.
is there actually, in which case you really should have a firewall in your system, because the funny thing about cable modem broadband is that everybody on your node, everybody on your street can essentially see anything that's attached to the cable network, which is one
Yeah.
Would it be beneficial to me to get, I used to have Zone Alarm on my last
Yes.
computer.
Sure.
This is not as good as Zone Alarm for one reason and one reason only. It only blocks incoming traffic. It doesn't block outgoing traffic. So if a Trojan gets on your system, it won't notify you that something
Right.
weird's going on. It also doesn't log as well as Zone Alarm would. So if you want to follow what's going on in your system, it's really not doing the best job of
Yeah.
logging. Zone Alarm's free. ZoneAlarm.com. Go get it. It's free. It's better. And you don't need the internet firewall that comes with XP. And we're glad that they included it. It's
Yeah.
better than nothing. It's
a
not
good
on by
start.
default, which is too bad. But anyway, you're right to ask, Joe, and that's what our recommendation is.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Okay, thank you.
Folks, don't go anywhere. You're going to miss eBay fanatic Margaret Cho. She's an eBay. She started a revolution, and we burn baby games galore. What? I think I left out a full stop there. And we burn baby games galore. And that makes more sense.
Got it.
All that's coming up. And of course, the band They Might Be Giants right after this. If you're a fan of the Screensavers, I know you're a fan of our next guests. Ladies and gentlemen, performing from their album Dial a Song, They Might Be Giants.
Pro is here to lead the way, to save the day.
Wicked little critter!
He clips the puck from Bobby Orr. He shoots, he scores!
Wicked little critter!
As he proceeds to torch the place. As he proceeds to scorch the place. As he proceeds to torch the place. Torture, scorcher, torture.
Wicked little critter!
He's a wicked critter with a sissy bar, and he lays a patch on the top. He's a wicked little critter with a sissy bar, and he lays a patch on the top. He decides to ditch and he ditches, and nobody knows where he ditched. He's a wicked little critter with a sissy bar, and he lays a patch on the top. And he clips the ball from Havlicek, and Havlicek is used and abused. He's a wicked little critter with a sissy bar, and he lays a patch on the top. And he pops a wheelie on his mini bike, and he burns rubber and he wheels out. He's a wicked little critter with a sissy bar, and he lays a patch on the top. wicked little guy. Wicked pistol little guy. He's a wicked little critter. He's a wicked little critter!
Wicked little critter.
He's a dink. Way to go. I like him. I got problems.
Wicked little critter.
There you go.
Thank you! Thank you!
We love you, Cleveland. Oh, I'm sorry. Wow.
Hey, Leo, how are you?
John, it's so great to see you. John, how you doing? Welcome back. Wicked Little Critter, is that?
Wicked Little Critter.
What album was that from originally?
The guy from Worcester, because that's
Yeah.
basically
Worcester.
yeah.
It's
yeah.
Wicked.
He
That's how they say. They say Wicked.
That's what they
there.
say.
He would have understood that song.
It's wicked cool.
Intrinsically.
Yeah, yeah.
Bobby Orr.
Yeah, it was about hockey.
And then
Hockey.
all
Hockey,
things
everything.
Massachusetts.
Shoots, he scores. Spots. I love
Cats.
spots.
Right.
You guys are so great. From Brooklyn, though, not from Worcester.
Actually, we met in Massachusetts.
Did you really?
So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we
Oh,
went
that's
to
cool.
some nice suburban schools outside of Boston.
That's on Dial-A-Song, which that's a Rhino Records did this compilation, 52
Yes, yeah,
songs.
yeah.
It's wonderful, by the way. I've
It's
had it
great.
for about a month, and I just
Yeah.
listened to it over and over again.
Terrific.
What is the Wicked Little Critter from originally?
It's on the Mink Car album.
Mink Carr.
Yes.
All right.
And
You know
there's actually a flash video of the Wicked Little Critter thing where I think you can play hockey.
There's some
with
guys playing hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey, spots,
You can
Wicked
play,
Little Critter.
You can play hockey online and listening to
Love
that
it.
song.
That's great. Now, you guys, I really quickly want to talk about some of the stuff that you brought along, because this was cool. John, you
Touch
were...
it. Touch it.
Yeah, you can.
That is so
See?
cool. It's a scratch box.
Yeah.
So what is the idea?
You can be Terminator X, basically.
It just has there's a whole ton of presets. You can
It's like a,
You can
a
do a
theremin
bunch of
almost,
different-
a little
Yeah.
bit, yeah?
it's got. I mean, basically you get to a program. There's like about 100 different sounds, and these are the ones I use in the
Oh,
live
that's
show.
so neat.
Yeah.
My favorite one, the Syndromes.
Wow.
So you
the
can do like
70s.
Linda
So you know
Ronstadt
that that's at the
songs.
top, though. So they're all positioned differently? Is
Yeah,
that the
they're
kind
all
of-
different places. You know, you figure out where you want to.
And you had this last time you were here. This is like a
Yeah.
sound effects box.
Yeah.
and
That's
you
right.
use that for the he shoots, he scores, and all
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
different sounds like that. Now this is kind of neat. You didn't have this last time. The pod.
No, this is this is basically just like anybody who has to go to a radio station. This is your best friend because you can sound like you can kind of do the
It's got amps built into it. Is that a Marshall stack? What is
Yeah,
that?
it's pretty much like a Marshall stack in a very very small.
Squished.
That's pretty
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, it's very.
So
nice.
you don't need to have the big speakers behind you because you're plugging into our soundboard, obviously.
no.
You wouldn't use this in concert.
You can
probably.
replicate the sound of bone crushing volume at more moderated volume.
in your home, in
Yes,
your living
exactly.
room. Do you guys work in your living rooms?
We actually
yeah.
both have home studios.
That's really cool. Hey, we should say hi to Dan.
This
right?
is Dan Hickey, our
Yeah.
drummer. Hello.
Nice job
And
too.
he's
on
playing
that.
this crazy little Roland thing.
A
that,
Roland drum synth.
Yeah, which is antithetical to everything he stands for as a drummer.
Is it?
Yes.
I can get over that, though.
Do you think about the poor guy whose sample that you're playing there every time you hit that, and think he probably got $12 for the sample?
I shed a little tear.
with every little beat.
Yeah.
And yet they sound so good. Who needs that guy? I mean,
Yeah.
the hell with him. I don't know where he is now.
Yeah.
He's probably out back in an alley somewhere.
Let's not
It's
talk
kind
about
of
that.
sad, isn't it?
He probably lives down the street from
Now, we were talking before the show about the new Apple online music thing. It
Yes.
doesn't matter to you guys whether they sell
Well,
them in the record stores or online, does
The
it?
great thing about working with different record companies is after a while you realize you will never see another dime from them.
Long
So,
ago.
Yeah, so we just do want to encourage people. Evidently, like
Particle
the
Man
first
is
day,
big, right?
Particle Man was like, it debuted at like number 6 on the Apple download. And we want to get it back up. That was a day ago. It's
Right.
slipped since then.
You
And,
guys don't
know,
play that anymore either, so you
no,
gotta
no,
buy
no.
it online.
No, it's basically like the wholly owned, unaccounted for property of Warner's
Warner.
Electra Asylum. But that's no hard feelings.
Well, you guys, really pioneered MP3s on the web. Dial-A-Song was
Yeah.
on a phone for years.
Right, exactly.
When did you start doing Dial-A-Song?
1983.
And that was
That's
just
right,
an
yeah.
answering machine. Somebody
Yes,
would call.
yes.
And you'd perform into the answering machine. I mean, you didn't.
We
even
would just
like,
record cassettes and then then transfer it to like a cassette answering
Oh,
machine.
okay.
And then we've had a computer-based one. And
The website's great now. It's
if
got a
anybody
machine.
knows of a really good MP3-based phone thing that doesn't
Answering machine
answering.
that runs on a computer.
Oh, we can get
Yeah.
one. Yoshi
We're
could
looking
make
for
you
it.
one of those. We'll get you one of
This
those.
is the trick of it. The problem we always have is that they want you to either change phones, so it's a different service,
right.
and we're like 20 years invested in this number.
company and this number. It's the same. It's been the same number.
Yeah. It's just a local Brooklyn number. It's not a charge or anything. But we're trying to figure out how to get to the MP3 part of it. But this Apple thing is not MP3 based, which seems...
No, it's AAC, which is because they have to put copy protection.
But do you think that's going to... I mean, doesn't
it sounds good.
I'm sure,
actually
I'm sure it sounds good, but doesn't it seem like it's just destined for failure? I mean, isn't the average 19-year-old is not going to be interested in anything besides MP3?
No, you're right, and it's a drawback, but it's meant for iPods and for Macs, and eventually for Windows. But so if you have an iPod, it's fine, because the iPod will play it back. But you're right, it doesn't play back on any, or many other MP3 players, so that's a disadvantage.
I mean, it seems like MP3 is kind of the name of the game, right?
Absolutely, and you guys are doing it, absolutely.
Yeah.
Gigantic is a documentary about you guys?
Yes. And
where did that come out? That's exciting.
Well, these guys followed us around... I guess 2 years ago.
Here, you're talking. Actually, Flansburgh's talking.
Kind of, punk rock heaven. And, there was just kind of nothing left.
We had a whole lot of conversations about how we were going to do this. And I think it started with one of us wanting...
Are you guys sitting on the waterfront there in Brooklyn?
Look at how thin I am there.
Look, who is that guy? That's a great shot.
AJ Schnock was the director, and he's a video producer that I worked with on some Ben Folds videos and some other stuff. And he had this idea to do a film, and he just followed us around for about a year and interviewed everyone we've ever met. And it was very strange. I mean, we never would have thought that we would be a subject of a documentary.
You guys are huge.
That's we didn't have any control over the film, so it seemed perfectly likely that it would be it would tell the unpleasant truth about the band.
Behind the music,
which we are not
the rise and fall when you got into drugs and that whole thing.
Well, the whole thing is that we are in fact control freaks. We're affable control freaks, but we are control freaks. So like the idea of just having somebody else kind of tell your whole life story was an extremely unpleasant notion.
Did it come out okay though?
It actually came out really good.
It's a really good. It's a very funny movie.
Very
which is the most important thing about it, I think.
Yeah, and it's good for people who don't know anything about us. I mean, I think it's like we're an obscure band, but it's a good way to be introduced to us.
People need to learn about They Might Be Giants. Dial-A-Song's a great way. Gigantic's a great way. And stay tuned. We're going to play another. You're going to play another song for us.
We like the way you're thinking, Leo.
Yeah, I'm always thinking here. To find out which They Might Be Giants albums are our favorites and to tell us yours, check out the article at thescreensavers.com. I have to say Dial-A-Song because it's got 52 songs.
Good value.
Can't go wrong.
It's like a deck of cards.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like that Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like that.
The 55 enemies. We're going to show you how to burn your way to gaming heaven in a little bit, and as promised, up next, They Might Be Giants, another song when the Screensavers continues to stay. Once again, They Might Be Giants.
As she runs out of things to say and grabs my coat to walk away. How about another first kiss? And she said, how about another first kiss? I said, I want another first kiss like this. How about another first kiss? Sentimental and always worrying about their hair. Got tired of wasting all my time. Now I'm not worrying at all. How about another first kiss? She said, how about another first kiss? I said, I want another first kiss like this. How about another first kiss? I could tell you we belong together, and I I could tell you you belong with me, but we've run out of things to say, and we'll be happy anyway. So how about another first kiss? She said. How about another first kiss? I said. I want another first kiss like this. How about another first kiss? How about another first kiss? She said. How about another first kiss? I said. I want another first kiss like this. How about another first kiss?
Yeah. All right. They Might Be Giants. John Flansburgh, John Linnell, Dan Hickey, the drummer. It was great having
Thank
you guys.
you so
I hope
much.
you feel
It was
better.
really
They're
a
going to be at the Great American Music Hall. You got like
Yes.
4 shows there, right? In
2
San
more.
Francisco.
Yeah,
2
we
more
did
to
one
go.
last night. And then
Don't forget tmbg.com. But
Yep.
you also have dialasong.com.
Yep, and we have a
the
new
machine.
kids site called giantkid.net that's got all sorts of flash streaming interactive.
Yeah, Kids
play along
Love
to the
No,
song.
which is a wonderful. And of course, the Malcolm in the Middle song.
Oh, yeah.
And You're Not the Boss of Me and Dr. Evil. You're doing a lot more soundtracks and stuff like that.
We're actually doing music for a show on the Learning Channel that's coming up called New Docs, and we do all the stuff on the Daily Show. And, and we're just about to redo their opening thing. So Jon Stewart will have a fresh new open in a few months.
All right. Do you want to do one more quick thing?
Yeah, sure.
All right. They Might Be Giants, ladies and gentlemen.
Go ahead.
1, 2.
David Bowie came to town, flying overhead. Don't you dig my chops, he cried. This is what they said. Au contraire, Dave. Quite the opposite, in fact. As it happens, au contraire, mon frère. Franklin Delano Roosevelt knew not what to do. This tie clashes with my hat, he cried. Don't you think that's true? Oh, contraire, Delano, hate to rain on your parade. As it happens, au contraire, mon frère. Take it. Jodie Foster held 2 pair, Bach had 3 of a kind. Gandhi said, with my full house, I will blow your mind. Oh, contraire, Mahatma, hate to contradict you, but as it happens, au contraire, yes, au contraire, and au contraire, you square. Wash that notion from your hair. If you're still there, I must declare that au contraire, mon très bon frère. Right on. 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 Screensavers. Right on. Right on.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. Leo Laporte here. Coming up in this half hour, find out what stand-up comic Margaret Cho buys on eBay. You will never guess. Well, maybe you will. Plus, find out why your screen tears. Don't forget to register for this week's Screensavers LAN party powered by NVIDIA. Quake 3 Urban Terror, our game of the week. It's a mod that crosses Quake 3 with kind of Counter-Strike. Grab a machine gun, your Kevlar armor, and attack your friends in the battle on the streets. Now that's good gaming. You must own the full version of Quake 3 and download a 200 megabyte mod, so you better get to the website now. Click Join Our LAN Party to register and get the software you need at thescreensavers.com. Thursday, the LAN Party. So anybody who's ever tried to back up a PC game has probably encountered a problem. You can't. They're copy protected, and they'll turn your CDRs into coasters. Well, Kevin has a solution. Our Dark Side downloader, Kevin Rose, has found a way, and again, we want to emphasize, this is for legitimate archival backups of your own software that you bought.
Yep.
It's not to give your buddy a copy of this, which would be wrong.
What do you use for backing up your stuff? What do you use?
I don't, because I can't.
How about normal burning? What do you use for that?
I use Nero and stuff like that.
Here.
Yeah.
But Nero works great for data CDs, but it doesn't work for games at all.
It doesn't. You always get a fail. It actually may look like it did all right, but the game won't play.
You put it in, and it starts to install, and then it says an error on the disk or something like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But what I found is a piece of software called Alcohol 120%.
I don't know what the name means.
I have
but
no
I like
idea either, but it works.
And this is designed for specifically for copying copy-protected CDs.
Yes. Let me talk about copy protection for a second.
Sure.
There's 4 major formats out there right now of copy protection. There's Safe Disk, Secure ROM, StarForce, and Laser Lock.
Do they all work the same way?
They work along the same lines.
Okay.
Pretty much how it works is when normal data is written to your CD, it puts little tiny divots into the CD, little tiny dashes of data, zeros and ones. But what happens here is when you're doing a copy-protected disk, it puts errors on the disk.
It makes a mistake intentionally.
It makes a mistake intentionally so that the game looks at those errors and says, does the disk have errors? If it doesn't have errors, it's not going to work correctly.
So that's important because most copying software won't copy the errors. You'll just say, oh, this is a bad sector.
It sees
I'm not
the
going to
errors
copy it.
and it quits. It fails.
Right.
It says, this is a flawed disk. I can't copy this.
And the game code built in says, I got to find that bad sector or I am not playing. Okay.
Exactly.
So this thing can write bad sectors, I guess.
It can, yeah. Let me show you. The first thing you have to do, though, is find out what type of copy protection is on the disk.
Okay.
So you turn to the web, and here's the actual form that they have, and it lists all the different games that are out there right now. If you take a look, here's one called Army Men, and it's using StarForce right now as a copy protection.
So you look up the game before you copy it.
Look up the game before you copy it, figure out what it is, and then you launch Alcohol 120%. Now this is Alcohol 120% right here. And we're going to use the copy wizard. So we click on the copy wizard, and then it's going to take a look at the disk, and you see here, this one here is the Counter-Strike mod, 441 megabytes, and you choose the data type here that it is.
So it can't detect what kind of copy protection is used?
I think legally they can't detect or try and circumvent the copy protection. You have to find that out on your own. And then once you find it out, you put it. You see, this will do PlayStation 2 games.
Interesting.
It'll do all the different types of
games.
It doesn't do Xbox games.
Video CD, VOB. Okay, so those are the various protection techniques that are most commonly used.
So you choose that, let's say it's laser lock, and then you choose next, and it'll burn a CD, perfect digital one-to-one copy.
Including bad sectors.
Including bad sectors. It does it perfectly. It makes a perfect digital
copy. How much
copy.
is the program?
The program is $49.
So if it saves you from 1 or 2 scratch discs, which happens to me all the time.
Oh, definitely. It's well worth it.
It's worth
Let
the
me
money.
show you the cool thing, though. This is even cooler. If we go into the image burning wizard here, what it's going to do is it's going to take a look at the disk and it's going to create an image file on your hard drive. So it takes that entire contents of the disk and puts it on the hard drive. Now once it's on the hard drive, if you take a look here, it shows up in your main listing here. So you show the different types of game that you have backed up to your hard drive. Now this is where the cool part comes in. You can take the disk out, and so you don't have to use the disk at all, and you can right click on it and choose Mount on Device. And what that'll do is it'll create a virtual CD-ROM drive and actually allow you to play the game from the hard drive.
Without the
CD. You remember how we have to swap out discs every time we try to play different games or be Command and Conquer?
I have 4 discs in front of me. I have the Age of Mythology, the Unreal Tournament, the Quake, and I have to remember, and I can't lose them. So I can just put it on the hard drive.
Put it on the hard drive.
Now if they're big, they're 650 megs or more.
But you can get a huge hard drive, big hard drive, and then but you can create an entire archive. You can put all your games on your hard drive and run them right from there.
I'm going to do that. That's wonderful.
It's really cool because it also speeds up the load times. You know how it takes like sometimes a minute or so for the game to load up? This will run from the hard drive. This is so much faster.
So any game it'll copy, did you find any games that it wouldn't copy?
I have tried about 8, 10 different games on there. Also, one of our lab rats, Robert Herring, he told me, he sent me an email today and he said, I saw that you're doing this, this is awesome. I've tried so many games on it, I can't find one that it won't copy.
Will it copy itself?
I don't know about that.
All right, give me a copy.
All right, we'll see what we can do.
See, that's the problem, is the guys that make this, then they can't use any copy protection on their own disc,
yeah, well,
right?
it's funny because I got some emails from people who are like, here's a crack for what you're demoing today. And I'm like, I actually own the software.
I bought the program.
Yeah.
Buy the program.
Definitely
buy your
the
games.
program.
This is not about stealing stuff. It's about being
Just
able
for
to make
backing 'em up.
backups. Because
Definitely.
everybody knows you'll lose these. They scratch, especially if you got
I've scratched
kids.
them so many
Many
different
times.
games.
For further instructions and to download a free trial, there's a trial?
There's a 30-day trial, full functionality. Everything's there. It's awesome.
So you could try it for 30 days and see if it works. Alcohol, 120% is the name of the program. Kevin's got an article at thescreensavers.com.
I have a link there, too, for the download.
Excellent, thank you. Stay where, that's what I'm going to do right now.
All right.
Stay where you are, folks. We've got a remedy for screen tearing on your video games. The answer is near, but up next, comedian Margaret Cho. She's all sugar and spice and something maybe not so nice. She'll divulge her true feelings about Windows, for example, right after these quick messages. They had a little picture of you. It was really cute. Yeah, it's nice.
Margaret Cho has
Margaret
been
Cho.
performing stand-up comedy since the tender age of 16.
Really?
She is known for her outrageously explicit humor, which makes me laugh my big,
Explicit off.
Exactly. She's working on her third documentary being shot on the road for current tour, The Cho Revolution. Morgan Webb caught up with this crazed comedian to see, among other things, how she feels about Windows.
And Margaret Cho, welcome to Tech TV. You digitally document your shows on the road. Can you tell me a little bit about your documentaries?
Well, basically, some fool be calling me and following me around all over the place with a digital camera, and apparently they could download that on a computer, and then they could see it and edit it right there.
How do you feel about having cameras follow you around all the time?
I'm very used to this. I have been a star for my entire life.
I'm gonna be going to your town soon. Come see the show.
So you use your website to interact with your fans?
I love that world. I mean, it is to me where I live. I mean, it sounds kind of strange, but that's like where all my friends are, and that's where I communicate with my family. That's where my fans are. That's where I just do a lot of work.
So you never search for yourself on Google?
No.
No.
I don't want to know what would be turning up there. No. I'm afraid to find out what would be on a Google search of me.
So I hear you're a big eBay shopper.
I'm an insane eBay addict. It's not good. It is good and it's not good, but it's a lot of fun.
What kind of stuff do you buy there?
Everything I'm wearing on my body right now is from eBay. I love eBay because it's like you just go to people's houses and rifle through their things. Because mostly people don't go to thrift stores anymore. I mean, they don't leave their things at the Salvation Army, but on eBay, it's basically if somebody dies, you just go get their stuff. You know, it's like this weird thing. It really is the world's marketplace.
So what's the best thing you've ever got off eBay?
Well, I have a taxidermy raven with blood red eyes, and it was made by somebody, eBay seller called the Antichrist. You learn a lot about what you like and what you don't like, but yeah, everything I buy is from eBay. I even buy like used makeup, and I'm really cheap. I'm so bad. I buy testers. It's disgusting.
So what's the gadget that you can't live without?
My G4 PowerBook. I mean, it's my whole life. It's my eyes. It's my ears. It's everything. It's my television. It's my news source. It's my telephone. It's amazing. The G4 PowerBook. It's like I like worship it. It's my golden calf.
How do you feel about Windows?
I thought that we had cleared this up before, that we wasn't going to talk about Windows. I'm sorry that this interview is over. I refuse to talk about Windows. I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting this, and I was told that we wasn't going to talk about Windows, and now I
love it. You can check out the full interview and get links. She is a wacky girl.
Yes, she is.
Get links to Margaret's. Now I understand why you like her fabulous website to find out more about her tour and whereabouts. It's at thescreensavers.com. We were gonna have her in studio here, and she missed her plane. and it was kind of a heartbreaker. And now, I'm determined that this woman will come here.
Please, Margaret.
She will come here.
Please.
By the way, as an extra bonus, our wonderful producer has put the unaired interviews with Margaret's director, who actually does the digital shooting and then edits on the iBook as they're on tour.
She's the person that follows Margaret Cho around with the camera.
And does the editing on the iBook as they're on tour. That's on the website, too, at thescreensavers.com.
All right, now we're going to check in with our good friend Sumi Das to find out what's coming up tonight on Fresh Gear. Sumi?
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hey.
Such a star-studded show. I'm so honored to be a part of it.
Well, you're one of the studs.
Oh, Leo, you flatter me. What did you say?
Nothing.
Say that again?
Sumi, tell us about what's coming up on Fresh Gear tonight.
Tonight, something that you guys probably aren't all that interested in, but it's really cool, nail technology. And I'm not talking about hammering a nail. I'm talking about these guys. Manis, petties, that sort of thing. You know, this is something you're going to rush home and tell your wives, your girlfriends, your mothers, your sisters about. We actually convinced, for the sake of technology, Becky Worley, of all people, you know, the rugby-playing Becky Worley, we actually convinced her to go get a mani-pedi.
It's a $6.5 billion industry annually, and that's in the U.S. alone. That's about comparable to the video game industry.
I'm not a real nail person, so this whole painting and priming thing is a royal pain. Now, what if technology could make it easier and take your nails over the top?
Meet the Nail Jet. It's an inkjet for fingernails. Made by Tampa-based Imaginale, it'll print any image you scan, your cat, your company logo, the Mona Lisa.
Notice how she had that Tech TV logo on her middle finger.
Oh. Well.
Just wanted to point that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's smart, unexpected, edgy, and youthful.
All 5, 4, whatever, however many number of things. Yes, exactly. So watch tonight. We're in our new time slot Tuesdays, and if you miss the show on Tuesday, it repeats on Thursday. So, yeah.
Thank you, Sumi. That is what's coming up tonight on Fresh Gear. Again, at a new time, right after Tech Live at 8:30 Eastern. After the break, Jason is perplexed.
He's puzzled.
He's puzzled. How do you fix a torn monitor? But first, get geekier with Sarah's fabulous tip.
Do you like to deface property? I do. But aren't you worried about getting caught? Well, our web team has a way to keep you out of trouble. It's called the Photoshop Challenge. So on the home page, just scroll down about halfway down on the right-hand side, behind the scenes, click on Photoshop this pic, and you're on your way to photoshopping your favorite screensaver, making them look terrible or good. Either way, boys.
Look at those shirts. Aren't those great?
Festive.
Andrew, Matthew, Christina, and Lloyd from Pinole, California, and they actually, what they did is they took the screensavers images on our website, but they modified them to match themselves. So that's Yoshi, but see, if you look at his face, it kind of looks a little bit more like Andrew. And then Matthew's got a little modification of, it looks like Kevin. That's Morgan, of course, on Christina. And, well, because she looks just like Morgan, so she didn't have to change it at all. And then Lloyd, of course, is Yoshi. Isn't that cool? That's fun. Ooh. Yeah. Jason on the line, Atlanta, Georgia. Hi, Jason.
Hey, Pat, Leah.
How are you, sir?
I'm good.
What can we do for you?
All right. I got Quake 3, and every time I turn my character left or right, I see tears on the screen.
Tears? What do you mean tears?
Yeah.
Like the screen doesn't match a little bit?
Yeah, about 100 or so of them every time I turn.
Now, again, I want to get the terminology right. You're not talking about jaggies on the edge of the guy.
No, the whole screen actually tears. I can see the separation.
Yeah, okay. What's happening is, what kind of video card do you have, first of all?
ATI Radeon 9700.
Oh, so you have a very fast card. And what's the processor speed on your computer?
2.4.
Okay, so you have a super fast machine with a super fast card. Sometimes the tearing could be a problem with the driver of the card. In this case, the problem is actually your card's faster than your monitor. It's not. Your monitor is displaying it at whatever its refresh rate is. Let's say 85 frames a second.
Yeah.
Okay, 85. Your video card is displaying maybe 100 frames a second or 120 because it's a very fast card. What happens when the monitor is only showing 85 frames a second and this is showing 120 is that they get out of sync. And at times, the monitor is showing an unfinished frame buffer. So the card's in the middle of drawing when the monitor shows it, and vice versa. The monitor might be drawing it when the frame buffer changes. So what's happening then is you get a disjunction on the screen. You actually see part of one frame and part of another frame, and it looks like there's screen tearing. There is a way to fix this.
Do you have the ATI control panel running on your system, Jason?
Yeah, I've got that.
Okay, if you dig around inside of it, you should find something like the DirectD 3D settings in here. What you're looking for is wait for vertical sync. And you want to make sure that's actually turned on.
Wait for vertical sync. In other words, you're telling the card, wait till the monitor's done with the screen before you change the frame.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I believe I've seen that in there.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what that means is your frame rate's going to go from 120 to 85, but it can't be, it's not faster than 85 anyway. Right? It's only as fast as the monitor can do it.
Well, yeah, you get arguments with some of the pro gamers who say they can feel the difference between the 120 frames per second.
Right.
You could also try turning on, I think it's triple buffering in there, in theory, might actually clean up some of the tearing. I would start out by turning on the VSync and see if that fixes it for you. If it does fix it and it feels slow, you could play around with some of the buffering on that. VSync's probably going to solve your problem, though.
It's very common that you have a trade-off between visual quality and frame rates and you know, of the game. And you know, in this case, you're saying, well, I want to. The tearing's bugging me. I want better visual quality. I'm willing to sacrifice the frame rates.
Yeah, and originally a lot of people, this was put in a lot of cases so people could actually test the maximum frame rates of video cards during benchmarks.
It looks better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I would turn it on. It's not going to. You have such a fast machine, and you're getting a good refresh rate on your monitor. I just turn it on, and then it's going to look great, feel smooth, everything's just be fine.
Yeah. Or you can turn the refresh rate up on the monitor.
Your eye only. A movie's only 20 frames a second. Your eye, 24 frames. Your eye doesn't see. You know, we're only right now. You're looking at 30 frames
but it hurts
a second.
less.
Am I smooth or am I jaggy?
All right, Jason, we thank you for your phone calls. There we are, folks. We talked emails galore. Don't miss out on the final fun. But first, get your hardware on with Sarah's fabulous tip.
To do a fresh install of Windows, you need to boot from the CD. But to do that, you need to set the boot priority. So go into your BIOS. Here I am in my BIOS. And get down to first boot device. I'm going to change it from floppy to CD-ROM. That's really going to help me. See? It's changed now. I exit out, and I'm in business. You're golden. You're on fire. Be right back.
Be sure to catch tomorrow's show. We're going to examine the rise and fall of Napster with LA Times reporter and author of a new book about Napster, Joseph Menn. That's going to be really interesting. Plus, build an MP3 player. Patrick finally is going to do it. You got the screen. You got all the parts you need. You're not going to blow it up. It's working.
Well, I can always blow it up.
but God willing, it will be here tomorrow. And use your DV net cam, your DV video cam as a net cam. We figured it out. Patrick, I'm not going to take credit.
It's a driver's
Patrick figured it out.
It's not an earthquake, folks. Just a little mayhem in the
camera hit the beam that's holding the whole setup. All right. Hey, look at this. Jerry brought this. This is a work slate. Do you remember this at all in the 80s?
T100s I used.
This is kind of like a Model 100. It's got, like my Epson, it had the little mini cassette for data. Look at this thing. And this is my favorite part. See this button down here? This one, it says, it's the do it button. Every computer should have a do it button.
I should have a do it now button.
Do it now. Don't do it. Whatever. What are you doing? That would all be great. Hey Jerry, that's cool. Neat thing to have. So how much time do we have? Do we have some time for? There's Jerry. Yeah, he had 4,400 of these. He's sold them all. He's just living on the income now.
Oh boy, 30 seconds. How about this? Anybody seen an update for the .NET updates for Microsoft Windows XP where Microsoft's installing a password-protected user account on your system?
I wonder if he's talking about Passport.
I don't know.
.NET. I've downloaded and installed .NET because some programs I use required it. It's a large download, but it hasn't changed my passport, my password situation.
Have anybody seen a .NET installation that adds an extra password-protected account?
I think he must be thinking about Passport because Passport is intimately connected with .NET. You know.
I'd be kind of curious.
Yeah. All right.
Something to investigate.
Hey, we had fun today, didn't we?
It was a good show. Wait, they might be giants.
Yeah, that was cool. And Margaret Cho. Yeah.
That's it for this edition of the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Jordan.
I'm Leo Laporte. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you tomorrow on Call for Help, and we'll be back here tomorrow at 7 p.m. for the Screensavers. Thanks to our great guests, the fabulous John Flansburgh and John Linnell. They might be giants.
Bye.
Thanks to you for joining.